Hey legends, unbelievable episode 2 today. I'm very excited for this one because this is a close friend of mine, Terry Antonis. We first played each other in the soccer world from the age of 11. We were teammates in the national team, we were roommates at the AIS, and we were rivals for Victoria, New South Wales. He's gone on to do some incredible things in his soccer career. Played for the Socceroos. You might notice him from the goal he scored by chipping it over some guy's head and scoring from halfway recently. Yes, that's him. He was actually touted as one of the best junior players we've ever produced. Even David Beckham acknowledged it, and in my opinion, was one of the best players ever played against. He has a very, very strong mind. He's doing some wonderful things in the football world, and now he's a dad. I absolutely love this discussion, and I'm sure you guys will too, so let's get into it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Unlaced podcast. As I always say, if you are new here, thank you for turning up, and if you've come back again, I absolutely love you. If you haven't given us a subscribe or a like or a follow, please do so. It's how we grow. We're doing great things this year. We've got some great guests on. I know we did miss last week, so I do apologize. We had a few things fall out of the calendar. But this is an episode that I can't wait to do because I play with a lot of people in football and they say that you don't necessarily make friends in football, or if you do, they don't stay with you for life. But this was one of my best friends in football. We literally lived together, ate together, we played football together. And also he was one of the best junior talents that I've ever seen and played against, which, you can just ask David Beckham about because those were his words. But Melbourne City's very own Terry Antonis, what's up, bro?
I'm good, man. Thanks for the rep.
yeah, that was good, huh?
It was very good.
Yeah, how you been, bro?
Not bad. Just playing football with kids as well. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, how's fatherhood, bro? That's like, I never thought you would get to fatherhood before me. I thought you were a little bit less domesticated in regards to cooking and cleaning and stuff. But you've got three. Well, one coming too.
Yeah, so got 2 kids, 1 boy, 1 girl. Another boy on the way in a few weeks. A wife, she's beautiful. That does a lot for me, as you know.
Shout out, Christina.
She does a lot for me.
She might come up in today's podcast because I was there when you first met, Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a long time ago now.
A long time ago. We've been together for a very long time. But being a dad and stuff, it's just one of those things that football is amazing, but once you have kids, it just changes your mind on life, football, a lot of things, and you do a lot of things for them. So
has that helped your football at all? Because people say that, but I can't relate to it. But when they say that, what do they mean by that?
For me personally, was before you play for yourself.
Yeah,
you worry about yourself, you worry about this. But now when I go on the field, I think of them and what I want to leave for them and do for them. So and think what they would want me to do. So that's why it changes you a lot once you have kids. Yeah,
Yana's she's practically Korean, bro. She's grown up in Korea. She loves Korean food.
Loves it. Loves Korean food. Can speak Korean. Yeah, she was over there when she was 10 months until she was 3.
Wow.
So she could speak it. She used to go to daycare there, and we loved it there. Well, we were actually, when we left to come back, we were actually upset
yeah, I know you guys still eat Korean food and stuff.
Yeah.
Christina still makes it for the kids.
Christina makes it for Yana, for us as well. But yeah, we love it over there. I even got my daughter's name in Korean because we loved it over there. So it was amazing country. Football was amazing over there. Great players, but the life over there was just very, very, very nice. Yeah, well,
we'll probably go into it a bit more in this podcast because I want to go through your career. But what I will say, if we go into the now, it's good to see you enjoying your football again, bro.
Yeah,
fuck, man, I feel like you're back to being you at the moment, which is great.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that. It's been a long road. The last few years have been a bit difficult for me on and off the field with, we had a miscarriage not long ago, had a big building dispute going on, which plays a lot on your mind as well. Yeah. Where you get stuffed over with that, but...
You had some injuries as well. You've had both on-field and off-field kind of all at once, which never, I don't know if it usually happens that way, but it happened with you all in the span of 12 months.
Yeah, like I said, it's just been full on. But, coming down here, when I got the opportunity to, amazing club, amazing players, amazing coaches, great city. They've changed my body around and back to enjoying football, and that's the main thing.
What do you think's been the difference for you this year? Obviously, I know a fresh environment and City, spoken about a lot, the quality that they've always had and the facilities as well, which is a real breath of fresh air in the A-League. But for you in your own game, what's been this new lease of life? Because I feel like you might not score or assist every week, which you're capable of doing in your game, but your actual 90 minutes of play is always kind of perfect. Like you're playing really good football.
Yeah, look, I just think they know how to use me type of thing. Like you've been around and played at football clubs. Like when you're in a good environment with great players, great medical department, great coaches, and you have the access to use all that stuff, and it just makes you look good and being able to perform. But yeah, this year for me, I just feel like everything's just clicking and I have to play,
Yeah.
The last 12 months hasn't been good for me. So I have to give, you never know when the last day of your football career will be. So
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to go into today, like you, without doubt, for your upbringing, which I'm about to highlight, like how much we've been through as kids and as youths or young adults as well, and even adults now. But you are mentally like one of the most toughest, because you went through one of the hardest regimes as a kid. You're so tough, bro. Like it's crazy. But I also think now you've got a freedom of life in regards to your game. You can kind of see that you're enjoying football again too. But the mentality side of things with you, it's like, fuck, man, you don't quit. I'm like, bro, sometimes I'm like, I don't know how you don't. Like you just it just fires you up.
Yeah, look, I didn't have the easiest upbringing. It was a bit difficult with that aspect, but people that know me, I'm not a person that likes to quit.
Yeah.
You know that. So for me, it's like...
That's why the bounce back this season doesn't surprise me, because it's like, I've seen the ebbs and flows of footballers, but you've always somehow, and you've had some pretty big setbacks from injury point of view and overseas clubs and challenges and stuff with the business of football as well. But you've kind of always bounced back.
Yeah, look, that's just me. It's my character. I'm not that person to give up. I like challenges, and at the same time, when I get knocked down, it might sound funny and that, but growing up, I used to always watch everyone knows them, the Rocky movies and stuff.
Rocky Balboa guy, bro.
He used to get put down all the time. You want to stand up for yourself. So
yeah.
As you know, in football business and life in general, you get a lot of setbacks. It's never a straight road, what everyone thinks it's going to be. It's a roller coaster. So in those tough times, you got to dig deep and prove yourself. And I think this year, obviously the big setbacks I've had over the years and stuff, but this year practically on and off the field, just got to do what you got to do to bring yourself up.
Can you talk to me about some of the individuals you're playing with now? We've had Tolgay on here and Jamie McLaren, two players in particular that I'd love to get your insight on of what it's like actually playing with him, even though I played with Macca for a long time, playing with him at the top level. He's the highest A-League goal scorer ever. But then you've also got Tills, you've got Lex, you've got Curtis, you've got so many good players in that team, probably more that you can mention. But in particular for you, who are some of the players that you've really enjoyed connecting with? Because you know how you just sometimes, with your game as well, you connect with people that think well, that move well, that have good technique, that you can link up with. So who are those players for you?
For me, for example, there's many in my team, but Tolgay is one of those players that, he's just different. You can tell from obviously his CV, you can see, but when you're actually playing with him and stuff and that and training with him, you see some things, but playing with him, he's just different. Makes you, when he's calm, you're calm. And he's very football minded as well. So he's got that in the brain as well. But with Macca as well, the guy, he's just he's right place, right time. He makes those runs as a midfielder. For me, when you have a striker making those runs, and I like playing over the top balls and stuff, it just makes it easier for me. He's, like you said, one of the best. He's the best top goal scorer in the A-League history. There's a reason why. So, but then we have Lex, you have Andy, you have Goody, you have so many players that you can go off. The team that we have is really good. We've just been unlucky with some results, really unlucky. But hopefully now, these last games, we can turn all that around.
I reckon Jamie cops some unfair criticism sometimes, It's a bit like Haaland on the other week. People saying, because he's not involved in general play. I'm he's there to score goals. People don't give him enough credit for what he does off the ball and some of the sacrifice he makes. And also, he does get involved in general play, but he's going to be in the box. He's going to fight for that ball. And I would rather a striker that does that. Do you know what I mean?
No, of course. Well, everyone, that's the beauty about sport, You got your critics and that, but same time, he's you want that as your striker to finish. You're not there for him to defend or link up play. You know, there's a reason why he's the all-time goal scorer in the A-League. You know, like how can you criticize him when he's the all-time goal scorer in the A-League? You can't. You're like, it's not like he scores 5 goals a season. The guy's scoring
30 every year.
So what do you have to say? Bro. You know, like
it's jokes.
And all those people out there that are smashing him, why aren't they doing it? You know, like
well, like it's like the Besh man. Besh wasn't necessarily involved. He was less involved in general play than Jamie. You know what I mean? He's the second top goal scorer ever.
Yeah, well, like,
it just shows, man. You've got to like they're the ones that are they only think one way, and that's the score.
No, of course I played with Bess at Victory, and he was. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable goal scorer. Worked hard. We won the championship together, but as I said, like people are gonna smash you no matter what you do.
Yeah. Do you remember for those back home, so or listening, I should say, when I say me and Terry grew up together, so I'm gonna go through our journey together because we were once like rivals, really. And then we ended up getting put together in the same like AIS dorm. And actually living together and becoming like best mates, which was strange. But do you remember the first time we met? Like, and I'm not saying first time we met, but like first time we played against each other because I got a story about you. I don't know if you will.
For me, all I remember about you, I remember futsal.
Yeah, it was futsal in the Gold Coast.
I can't remember where it was, but all I remember, you had the number 10 jersey with afro, little afro back then.
Yeah.
And those games that we used to play against each other, we used to just...
Yeah,
they were proper rival games.
So there's a couple of things, like, right? And I want to go through some of them because they all happened around this time. So we played each other. It's like under 12s futsal, which our probably first state teams we ever played for were in futsal, right? Because our outfield teams you couldn't start till 12.
Yeah.
So we played against each other in under 12 state teams. Under 13, I don't think you were in Australia. I got a feeling you weren't. Tommy Surjak was captain then, but I think you were. I don't know where you were.
Can't remember.
Yeah, you weren't in the you weren't available. Put it that way. But then 14 we played each other.
Yeah,
and then 15 I reckon you were at Everton.
Probably,
maybe something like that. So we played each other through there, and then we were roommates at AIS. Yeah. But so this the first time I played you, I had heard that like you had this lifetime deal with Adidas and training with David Beckham, and David Beckham's like literally quoted on a thing saying. Like he's the best young footballer like I've seen or like one of the best talents I've seen for his age in the world. And he was doing like, I don't know what it was. Do you remember what it was this Adidas?
It was like back then I was like 9 or 10, it was like an Adidas competition of Adidas competition. Yeah. You had to send like your skill videos and stuff. And back then I was able to, I don't know, I haven't tried in ages, but juggle a squash ball.
That's right. This guy was juggling balls like no tomorrow.
Yeah. So every day I used to go down to the park and with my dad and just do a lot of technical work, and juggling was one of them. So got down to a squash ball at the time, and
he won this competition, went over there, and bro, there's a quote, man, and Braden will have to find it, but there's a quote of like what he said about you. I was like, so I already knew of you before I played you because of that, right? Like it came on like Football Stars of Tomorrow, some shit. I don't know what it was, And then anyway, we played each other at this futsal tournament, and 2 things happened at that tournament. One you remember is one of your teammates, I think Jordan cried, and he punched that kid in the face from Queensland. He just turned around and hooked him, and the guy had a black eye, which was crazy. So I was like, damn, New South Wales are rough. But then I played you, and you had a free kick. And for those that know futsal, it's on a basketball court. It's 5v5, but the goals aren't that big. So it's like, to score, you have to have a little bit of luck, but you need to like hit it with power, or you need to go low or catch the keeper off guard because the goals are easy to save the ball as such. But you had a free kick. Remember this story?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm standing in the wall and I'm looking at Terry, and Terry looked like an alien as a kid because he had a shaved head. He had Adidas shoes, but he had these really bright blue eyes. And like he kind of didn't have much personality in his face. So you're like, man, this guy's the greatest like technical player ever, and he's got no emotion, but he would until I met him, of course. But then he took this free kick, and it was his right foot that hit it, and it shaved my ear. And I turned around, and by the time I turned around, it got in the top corner, and I was like, "Oh fuck, that was unbelievable." And then the ref goes, "No, you got to wait for the whistle." So I'm like, "Haha, sucked in." And then the ref blows his whistle. I see Terry takes 2 steps to the right to open up so he can hit on his left foot. Mind you, we're like 11. He hits it again. It hits my other ear, and then I turn around and it's in the other top corner. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? That's when I knew I had to get better, when I saw you play. But like I want to touch on it, right? Because the reason why you were so good at that age is because the level, like your technique still to this day is flawless. Like I don't think you get enough credit for it. Like your technique now was your same technique at like 14.
I think so.
Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get that better. It was like, for me and you, it was like athleticism was like our focus.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, that was our like thing, because it's like we can do most things with the ball, but running and like high volume of work was like, that's just our main focus. But your work with your dad and that relationship, that you had like a very tough upbringing, because he was very firm on you with your training, and you've reaped the benefits of it. But at times, like I assume that must have been tough for you, huh?
Yeah, look, it was obviously tough, but it made me to the person I am today. But as I said, like those training, like all that technical work made me the player I am. So when I look back at that stuff, it just, all that hours and hours of training, I guess, to put down the pitch, and every time I go on the pitch, I try to do that, because I feel like when people are watching, they're like, oh, like, sorry, I was about to swear, but
no, you can swear, bro.
But they're like, wow, like I want to do that or inspire young kids, because when I was a young kid watching, I always used to watch Maradona or Zidane or Pirlo, like players that had flair or technique. Like for me, that inspired me to be out on that field like 4 or 5 hours every day and trying to copy what they did. So yeah, all that training and stuff, like I see young players now like in the gym or running and doing like all that, like all the physical work, but not enough ball work, you know. And yeah, for me, you want to see the X factor. You don't, you know, as a coaches, like coaches look at the X factor,
yeah,
not
100%.
You know, all that stuff. So especially in Europe and stuff. So for me, doing all that stuff, and I try to do it even today. So.
Yeah, well, you were training. I was kind of big on that too. Like if I had my time again, the only thing I would have changed is maybe doing more like athletic work. But I would never change anything that I did with the ball. I was with the ball every day. Yeah. Like against the wall, juggling and stuff, because it was like technique was number one. And you and Tom Rodgick were a little bit of an inspiration in that, because that under-12 tournament, I was so far off the pace. Like I was a good player in my team, but like at the tournament, I was like, your technique, Tommy was older playing for ACT, his technique, I was like, you guys were Europe ready. Because you guys, particularly you, were training like what the European and South American kids train like. Like, you don't even worry about running. Everything's with the ball, you know, by yourself every day type stuff. So, yeah, I used to love that. But I got a few other things that I want to go through, like some stories that we experienced. So, before you came to AIS, you went to Everton. Yeah. Which was a massive thing at the time. You were in their academy. But at the time also, it was Tim Cahill was there as well. Can you speak to me about how that came about and that experience? Because you had a really good connection with him and his family, right? Yeah, so growing up, I went to Westfield Sports High, and I had a really good friend growing up there. His name was Luke. He was cousins with him, and we made that relationship growing up. And obviously, the older we get, you know, football comes more and more and more. And went and trialed with Everton and got a deal there. And Tim was there obviously at the time in the first grade. And yeah, like it's just going from Australian football, as you know, when we were growing up, it's not the same as what it is now. But seeing their training grounds, the professionals at the time, like you had Tim there, you had Mikel Arteta, you had Yakubu, you had like Jagielka, like it was good, like really good players, and going there and seeing that and their training facilities. Fellaini and stuff might have been there. Fellaini was there at the time as well. Like it was Pina. He was what a player. Stephen Pina, South African. Yes, he was unbelievable. He could have played higher. He could have played at a top 4 team. He was talented, man. But yeah, going there and being able to be in that training environment every day, and it just wanted to be there and see them like in their, like they're driving Lambos or Ferraris and their training ground, and that you wanted to be there. But yeah, Tim was there at the time, and he took me under his wing, and yeah, still close with him today. And did you live with him at all? Were you staying with him? I was staying in and out with him, and that's wild. Yeah, just living with Tim Cahill. How old are you at this time? You're like 14, 15? 14, 15. So he helped me out a lot, and you know, at the time the FIFA ruling, I wasn't allowed to go over there because of the age. I think you had to be 16 or 18. I think it was 18 you had to be at the time. So I couldn't go over there. But yeah, it was an amazing experience to be a part of. And yeah, he took me under his wing. His whole family was
amazing to me. His brothers, his mum, his dad, like everyone, they looked after me. So.
After Everton, right, you were, even though you're in my age group, you came halfway through the year for AIS. So, or whatever it was, through my tenure. So you weren't in the initial national tournament from the 15s where everyone got chosen. But then you came back and you come on trial for like 3 days, like, oh, this guy's got a full scholarship. Like straight away, right? And then you started rooming with me and we became best mates. And for those who obviously know Canberra and the geography of Australia, Sydney's 3 hours drive from Canberra and Melbourne's like a flight, even though it's up and down, you still had to flight. So we'd get the odd weekend off. And this is in 2010. And we were close. You're like, Jerry, you want to come back to Sydney with me? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. So I came and stayed with your family. And at this time, the 2010 World Cup was on in South Africa. And we were driving with your dad and he got a phone call from Tim Cahill's brother. And it was the first game of the tournament against Germany. And he's like, bro, he's like, do you guys want to come around to the family house and watch the game? Do you remember this at all?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So he's like, it was like two, I don't know what time it was, but it was late. But we went round to the family house and they're like, oh, can you get us some Maccas? So we bought heaps of Maccas round and we were sitting there watching the game and I'm thinking like, wow, we're in like Tim Cahill's mansion in Sydney. Like, I don't know anyone. I'm coming here with you because you've like grown up with the family in Everton and stuff. And then do you remember what happened in that game?
I can't remember what happened in that
Tim Cahill got sent off in like the 38th minute. And we're sitting in the house, bro. We're sitting in the house, bro, watching it. And we're like, holy shit. Like, it was the most awkward experience of my life because he was the pin-up boy for the Socceroos at the time. That's crazy. He doesn't even remember.
I can't remember him getting sent off, but
yeah. We were at do you not remember we went there, bro?
I remember we went there, but I can't remember how the game.
Against Germany. So game 1, he got sent off after like in the first half too, straight red, and we're sitting there like people like eating Maccas. The only people that weren't there was like his wife and kids, or some of his kids were, and his mum and dad. They were in South Africa, but like some of his brothers or other extended family and friends were there.
Yeah. I can't remember him getting sent off.
He got sent off against Germany, game 1 at the World Cup. And we were in his house in Sydney and I didn't know anyone. And I just remember driving back to your house in Sydney, I think the whole of Australia was in shock, you know, but we were just in his house.
Yeah. That
like happened. Just watching it. This is who Terry was back then.
Yeah, look, don't know what to say about it. So I can't remember that, but as I said there, like...
See, now it sounds like I'm talking shit, but that actually happened. Yeah. This motherfucker.
Mate, I've been watching so many games, I can't even remember, but
you remember that whole like...
No, I remember going to his house, I remember you coming, but I can't remember how the game unfolded. But like I said, like for me, with them, like with his whole family, they looked after me.
Yeah, like, you were close with them, man.
Yeah, like to this day.
They called you guys up to come around, I remember, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, like to this day, like still speak to his brothers, still speak to him here and there, and to his family. And really nice people. He's a top guy, unbelievable player, one of the best.
He's our best World Cup player ever.
Yeah. So,
do you know what? Let's go into that a bit because I'm interested to get your opinion on it because you're in the A-League, so you see the A-League academies. You've gone overseas to Everton and you've been in the AIS. The AIS no longer exists, and we're speaking about it recently. I'm interested to know what's going to happen next because when you think about it, we've had the most successful period of going to national, like world tournaments ever in Australian history, which all the players that are playing now, besides like a handful, everyone went to the AIS.
Yeah.
Like, do you see this new model being good going forward? Like, what's your sort of gut feel on it? Because we're trying to mirror the European model with the academies, right? So
yeah. Well, look, to be honest, me going to the areas, personally, like, it was an unbelievable experience. I don't think, like, I would ever change that. I had unbelievable coaches. I had Jan Van Sleen, Gary Van Edmond, Arthur Pappas at the time as well. Good bunch of boys.
Yeah.
We had another good mate of mine, Musti. We had Goody. We had older boys, younger boys, a lot of players that actually produced a lot of players that play in the A-League or national team.
Yeah.
So for me, even in the past, like you look at how many players the AIS has produced.
Before us, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Viduka. We were going on Mark Viduka walk to go to training.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
back then, well, you know, it was in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Lucas Neal, everyone.
Amount of players that's produced. So yeah, when I heard it got like taken away, I was a bit surprised because there's so many players that's produced. You know, you had everything there. You had your schooling there. You had the training grounds. You had the facilities. You had yeah, back then I wish I used more of it, the physios.
Yeah.
Back then I don't think we ever used
the sports psychs for me.
But yeah, you remember we had the dining hall. We had good times in the dining hall.
What are some of your best memories there? We used to love playing together, man. We used to be like synchronized on the pitch because we played together or played against each other for so long, and we were the similar players in the sense of like it was all ball.
Yeah,
it was all ball, man. Yeah, everything was all ball work.
It was unbelievable. Like I said, I don't know if you used to remember, but playing those Wednesday night games against
these Canberra local teams.
Yeah,
bro.
like it was just
all in brawls.
It was just full on. And
they were trying to kill us.
We were like young. We were what, 15, 16 against men, and like those things. You can't train it, you can't buy it. Like it's just an experience that you can't forget. But yeah, obviously playing with you, like we both have similar, I would say, mind frame. So it was very easy to play with you, and a lot of players that were there. So I don't think, like I said, I was really shocked when they got taken away. But we'll see how obviously this goes now. But yeah, I'm a big believer. Naos was amazing and produced a lot of players.
Yeah, it was a special place, bro. You I remember I loved playing with you. We used to, as I said, we roomed together, but we used to play two-touch all the time together. It was a good time, bro. Our midfield was good, man. Our age group. Do you remember my debut for the Young Socceroos? We played Germany in Germany.
Remember?
And we beat them 1-0. And the midfield was, and we're 2 years younger than the age group, right?
Yeah,
we were like,
the young boys.
It was me, you, and Musti, and we played the German midfield of like 2 years older, and we beat them 1-0.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that I still, I forget about that a lot, but I remember that got me to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that game, Jan's like, oh, he can, because you and Musti had already gone the Asian Cup, so you guys were kind of already in the mix.
Yeah.
You guys were sort of ahead of the game, but that got me into the World Cup, that World Cup.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. What, in Colombia? See, do you remember some of this stuff?
Like
I was
I
told
remember
you I was going to bring up some stuff. Like, I bet you've got that game in Dusseldorf.
No, I remember the game in Germany because I remember playing against, at the time, the number 10. I think it was...
Is it Emre Can?
I think it was. And I remember marking him. I was like, mate, this guy's like...
Bro.
A joke. And I remember one time, like we were actually playing good football.
I know.
But at the same time, we're getting bopped as well. So it was like one of those things.
It was a proper Aussie performance,
it was a proper like...
Away from home.
Away from home. So...
Do you reckon Musti got signed to Dortmund from that game? Like, because he got signed before he went to the World Cup, yeah?
I think he did. Maybe. Honestly,
no, he did.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know if it was that game, but he did get signed
or the
before.
scouts were there and stuff. Like, yeah, the scouts, obviously in Germany, it's close. They're not going to come out to Australia.
Like, it was me, you, and Musti in the AIS midfield. All three of us went to the Under-20 World Cup in Colombia as like bottom ages. Like, we were eligible to go to the next Under-20 World Cup. And Musti was like at Borussia Dortmund. I was thinking like, fuck, man, this is legit midfield. Legit.
Yeah, no, it was unbelievable. Like, as you said, it was crazy to be at the World Cup. And yeah, the fans, you remember in Colombia, they were like nuts.
Police escorts everywhere, man. Remember we just go to the shopping centre, like three cops with like guns. And they loved us too, man.
Yeah, they were good with us. So it was amazing. Like I said, you can't buy the like experience, like you know, and the teams you played. I don't know if you remember the Spain team when we got absolutely.
Well, do it. Yeah, I remember them because they stayed in our hotel.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like, I remember us having a bit of an issue. Like, don't get me wrong, we didn't have the best tournament, mind you. I'd defy anyone to play that Spain team and see what happens to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Oriol Romeu was signing for Chelsea in the lobby.
And who was the
Sergio Canales?
Correct, was at Real Madrid.
Danny Pacheco was starting for Liverpool. They had Isco was coming off the bench, bro.
But that's
Rodrigo was up front. I could go on for days about it. Mark Bartra was defender. He played for Barca. Anywho, we got Bob 6-0. But remember they were getting on the team bus and going out after their games. Like they were going to the club, bro. I remember their whole bus would go, and we were like getting weighed and doing piss tests and like eating like going to bed early and getting hammered by them. Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck me, bro."
Yeah, that's Actually, I remember like they were like. Yeah, they were getting like the red carpet treatment, and we were just like at the bottom.
They were having bottles of Coke in the lift, and I'm like, oh, if we get seen with that, we might not be able to play.
We'll be back home.
Yeah, we won't get a job. Like, we won't get picked.
Yeah, no, it was as you know, it was a big eye experience, and it was things that you can't buy like and see again. And I wouldn't change it, but obviously I would change that result. But the experience you got playing against those players and stuff was just.
Tommy Orr was crazy at that tournament.
Tommy Orr was really
Tommy
good.
Orr to me was like, he was like Harry Kewell for us at that tournament.
Yeah, he was
He
unbelievable.
was scoring from everywhere and scored a free kick from like almost in
Remember?
between halfway. It was against Ecuador when we needed a draw. He scored in between the
Ecuador
box and
or
halfway.
Costa Rica?
Costa Rica, maybe. Joel Campbell. He
Joel
played for
Campbell?
Arsenal. I remember he scored and ran over and did this. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, that guy
that is-
plays for Arsenal. Like, you know what I mean? I just signed for Gold Coast. Like, I was
What
like,
do you
come
mean,
on,
man?
man.
It's
And
the
we're
same,
getting
man.
hammered back home. I'm like, bro, give some, like, Jan got hammered for a lot of things, bro. But I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
Great. What do you want him to do?
No, like for me, Jan, to this day, I don't know to you, but to me, he
Nah,
was
to
one of
me
the best
too, bro. To me
coaches
too.
I ever had. So,
To me too.
Yeah, he taught me a lot about football and I learned a lot from him. So
That was the other thing about the AS is like, it wasn't just on the field education. It was like off the field. Like his,
you remember the video sessions he used to do?
video sessions were like, I feel like when I watch Pep, man, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Just because of Jan.
Yeah.
Like I know what exactly like everything that's happening in football.
I was going to bring it up because I was laughing about it the other day with Goody. I was like, we'll talk about the AIS and I don't know if it happened to you, you experienced it, but as soon as you go into that theatre room and you did like a double session and the lights would turn off and you
Aaron Peterson, bro. You remember?
he will ask you a question and the boys would be like,
Oh,
what?
Oh my God.
Mate, it was like, yeah, things like that. It's just, yeah, it's good times. But as I said, yeah, the football you learn off the field as well was,
Yeah, it was special, huh?
it was special. Even the recovery, like, I don't know, yeah, for sure you remember the recovery centre and
Yeah, bro. The
good
state of the art
times you had,
facilities.
the good times every time you got kicked out.
Yeah, we were troubled. That's we were troubled. But like, what do you expect? We're 15, 16, 25 of us in the one place. Going to remember Lake G, that school?
Yeah, like
We used to have to look over our shoulder there. Just everyone wanted to hurt AIS athletes. And Musti would walk by and pull. Bro. Hey guys, just a quick pause in this episode to thank our partners who are supporting our show. As you would have seen of late, Mind, Body and Soul, I love these guys. Organic Reflection, they are called. They are here to help the health and wellness space. A couple of guys from Melbourne. It is Australian owned and they have a shared passion for health and wellness. They've created this product here called the C60 product. And essentially what you do is you put 3 meals on your tongue a couple of times a day, and it's there to pretty much be your personal health superhero. It helps you battle stress, pumping your energy levels and boosting your immune systems. I absolutely love using it. It's been great for me. I always use it before a podcast as well, which helps with my energy and buzz, which hopefully you guys see, but also from an athlete's point of view. It also helps with injury recovery. It helps reduce inflammation as well. So it prevents, certain diseases, which is really important and no doubt relevant to everyone in the world. But from a muscle fatigue point of view and enhancing some of your muscle development, accelerating the injury recovery is a real key factor as well for me because I've just hurt my hamstring at the moment. So these guys are doing some wonderful things. They're really supportive of the show. Also, they have a wonderful anti-aging tea here, which has been, I don't know if they're trying to tell me a message or if they're telling someone a message, but nonetheless, it tastes really good. I've been having one a night. It helps me get to bed, helps me rest, and it's keeping me younger. So there is a discount code associated with it. Of course, get in there, get purchasing. The link is in the bio below. You'll see it. And the discount code is unlaced. So get around them and support a wonderful product and just feel good in 2024. Also, you guys will know that I've been working with Dabble, the gambling agency, for a number of years. This year, we're ramping it up. We've got a lot of bets and specials on all sports all around the world, particularly in the football part. The English Premier League is a domain that I'm focusing on. But Wednesday night, if you're in the app, you can come join me from 7 till 8 for Jake's Take. It is a wild, wild west of a show. We talk about all forms of sport. We talk about what's happening in the world. And we have a lot of fun with some guests who come on the show as well. So the link is there. If you're going to be betting and gambling, do so responsibly. Only bet what you're willing to lose. But if so, do it on Dabble because it's a great community. Let's get back into the episode. Let's go into your professional career. Because you signed young. You pretty much, as soon as you got the AIS, I reckon you were there for, it felt like longer, but I reckon it was less than 12 months maybe. Maybe around a year, a bit over.
A year, bit over. I can't remember the exact timing, but I think I was there at AIS for a year.
But you and Musti were the first two that got signed to A-League clubs and like playing straight away. So like I've gone from rooming with you to then like watching you on Fox Sports playing for Sydney. Like your initial feeling getting into the A-League back then, it was like a proper tough league, man.
Yeah. By memory at that time, coming from the AIS, you're around like people your age, and then going into, I was 16 and a half at the time, and going to adult football with into adulthood, and it was very different. But at the same time, I learnt very quick. I had great players around me. Like, I remember, it's crazy, like, to think about it, but like, back when I was growing up, we had the NSL. So I used to go always watch with my grandparents or my dad or family members, watch Sydney Olympic back in the day. That was the only team you could support. Win, you were happy, and if you lost, it was like you weren't eating or anything. So, and it was crazy because when I started in the Sydney Olympic, we had Tim Cahill, I looked up to when I was a kid, and Brett Emerton. Brett Emerton was like, at the time, like at Olympic, I remember him, he was just like a freak of nature. And then I'm at Sydney FC and I'm with him and I'm like, thinking to myself, I'm like, I used to, like, when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, like, go to watch you travel and watch you play, and like now I'm with you, like, and he was in the national team as well at the time. I'm thinking to myself, like, pinching myself, like, is this like real or?
Wow. So, what was like when you're up close to those players too now? Like, what was like, what's this guy's different level? Like, what were some of the things that he would do?
Like Tim Cahill, like, for me, was one of the most technical gifted players ever in Australia. Seeing him being able, like, the thing is, you see players at games, but I think you see more players, as you know, at training, like in your mini games and stuff like that. You just see him do things. You're just like,
Tim Cahill was like a dancer, bro, or like a ballerina on a football field. He was like, I still think he's one of the greatest A-League players ever.
Yeah, he was a freak. So
left-footed, dance.
He had everything. So I remember his legs were humongous, man.
Yeah,
like,
big legs, kind of tan skin.
He was a freak, man. He had a good left foot, and as I said, like, training with him, you're just like, for me, like, as I said, you see things in the games, but training, you see a player like different level because they have no like hesitation. There's no like, if you
see their true ability.
Yeah, you see their true ability. So when I got able to train with them and stuff and play with them, it was just like,
Sydney FC, you played a lot of football. We're going to go into some of your great goals and moments because I know a lot of people are like, when are you going to talk about the halfway goal? When are you going to talk about some other things? It's coming. But you did have a really sort of long or interesting as well experience overseas. You went to Panathinaikos. You played in Holland. Yeah. Obviously career as well. You've had a wide touch points of a lot of things, and not every place was easy for you. But just to speak through sort of the overseas experiences you've had, what you've enjoyed, what sort of opened your eyes up to the game of football as well. Yeah.
Well, from Sydney FC, I was originally meant to sign up Parma, but I went over there, signed the contract.
Wow.
So I signed that, did the contracts, did everything, flew over there. As I flew back, they didn't pay the transfer fee, and that's because they went bust. And then, that fell through. So I was at Sydney again. And then from there, I got signed to PAOK, Salonika. They were
huge. It's the biggest club in Greece, no?
One of the biggest clubs in Greece.
Yeah.
The fans.
You got Olympiacos too.
Yeah, you got Olympiacos, PAOK, Panathinaikos and AEK. They're the two, four biggest teams in Greece. And being Greek background and stuff, to go over there and actually play there was just...
How it would have been special,
It was very special to me, but the club, the players, the fans, like for me, obviously being in Australia, like Sydney Olympic back in the day in the NSL era, they were allowed flares and stuff. Not allowed, but they used to bring flares. And then in A-League, obviously, we're not allowed flares and stuff. But when I went to Greece, and then flares were going off during the
stadium's on fire, man.
The stadium's on fire. If you look up Ring of Fire, Tumba, like, mate, I'll never forget walking out of the semi-cup final against Olympiacos, and I was sitting there, and they let all the flares off, and it was like 30,000 our home game, and it was just scary. Like you can't even, like, I don't even have words to describe it. It was just
parts of Europe that's normal, man. Hey, like that. Like here, it's obviously scandalous, bro. It's like people like front pages of news, but you go to Europe, you're like, man, the stadiums are on fire, man.
No,
like,
stadiums are...
And it's like part of the culture. It's part of the game.
Yeah, but that's, as a footballer, like, me seeing that and playing that, you're just like, you're on the buzz, like you're on the adrenaline rush, you're like, you're flying.
Yeah, that's what you want.
You can't get tired. Like, even if you get tired, you get abused by the sideline, so you have to run. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, PAOK was unbelievable. I had the chance to play with Berbatov at the time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
we talked about your technique. Man, he is the definition of
technique.
Like the best technique you'll ever see.
He was, as I said, playing with him was amazing, but training, the things I used to see at training used to do, like, was disgusting. Like, I couldn't even...
Was he lazy as well? Like, because people used to say he used to smoke and stuff. Like he'd smoke darts or whatever. But like,
I won't go talk about that topic. But to be honest, a lot of play in Europe.
Well, that's
they smoke and drink
and score 3 on the weekend and smoke a pack.
So I don't think the coach would care what you're doing if you're scoring. So, but he used to work like honestly like on his body in the gym. He used to actually run at training and stuff. But as I said, like he was the most unbelievable gifted player to this day I've ever played or
I was going to ask you, so can you give me like a list of some of the players you played with that in your eyes are like the best players you played with? Because people ask me that a lot and I say kind of similar names that some people, like Dario Vidicic to me was a crazy player to play with. He didn't get enough credit for how good he was, but I always talk about Karuska. Yeah. But for you, who are those players? Because you've played overseas, you played with some big names as well. Like Berbatov was definitely one.
Definitely. I got to play with Honda at Victory. He was
Honda, wow.
He was good. Del Piero at Sydney.
What? Yeah.
He was really good.
Delps. Wait, can you tell me what he was like as a teammate?
Really good guy.
Yeah, everyone says that.
Everyone, for the player he was in the caliber, like he won the World Cup, Champions League, like was that, had everything.
It's a gentleman, huh?
Top guy, really good guy. Yeah, unbelievable guy, but him, I got to put Tolgay up there. He's really good as well. We had Jolis. He was the Greek captain at the time when I was playing at PAOK with him. Tavelas, he was a freak as well. Gary Rodriguez, he was like one of those players that you give him the ball and he would just
make something happen. Yeah, special players then.
Yeah, I've played with a lot. I could go on, but yeah, just even the national team, like that's the other thing.
What about like getting the national team recognition at the, like how good's that been for you? Like that's pretty special.
Like looking up, obviously, when I was growing up, you look up to play with for your national team. Everyone does. Yeah. And being able to go there and play there and win the Asian Cup with them, play the games with them and stuff. And play, for example, Tim Cahill looked up to a lot. Being able to play with him was massive. Yeah, Bresciano, who for me, growing up, used to watch him and he was a freak as well. So like,
how many caps do you have?
I have 3 caps, but
you got capped early, no? Did you get capped early?
Capped early. Came a lot of times into camps. I didn't get the chance to play, but yeah, for me, being able to be in the squads and stuff and that's something you work hard for your whole career. So yeah, special moments like that. But as I said, like going from PAOK to then I went to Holland, to Venlo. Where else did I go? To Korea. Suwon was, for me.
Was that one of your favourite moments of your career? Like obviously a family perspective, it was a really special time.
Family, Korea was just a different, like the lifestyle, the culture. You got to go there to see Korea like itself. Seoul was a beautiful city. Suwon was a beautiful city. But even the football, like Korea football and the Korean players in general, like they're actually really, you can see why they're getting better and better all the time.
They work so hard, huh?
Yeah.
Everyone says the training there, like the 2 sessions a day, whatever it is it's the fittest they've ever been.
No, the Korean preseason, I think is like, like you're just on your deathbed. Like, honestly.
Do you remember, Braden, when we did the pod with Adam Taggart in Perth for the UFC and he was talking about how hard the training was, and he was on the national news because he had a Pilates bed, which you did a clip of. He had a Pilates bed of him in the studio. And the Koreans loved it because they're like, he takes his football and he was on the national news in his own house on like a Pilates bed.
Nah, Tag.
And who you obviously played with. It was in the same team, right?
We were in the same team and we were lucky enough. Yeah, Tags for me is unbelievable striker.
He was another player with us in the AIS.
100%.
He was our best striker there in the country because Jamie was obviously overseas at that age. But Tags was the best one that was in Australia from like a youth point of view.
Yeah, look at him now, he's flying. But when I was with him at Suwon, he was top goal scorer in the K-League, and that's not
easy to do.
So we were lucky enough to win the FA Cup over there together. And yeah, like I said, Suwon was a special place for me as a person, as a footballer. Like, the facilities there were unbelievable. One of the biggest teams in Asia. So to be there, be able to play there, the fans were amazing. All the stadiums were amazing. And yeah, just different culture. Like, yeah. Amazing.
Special time, bro. Well, it's good. You've grown a lot as a person. There's a couple. What's really strange is, I don't know, you might say you've scored better goals, but I think the most watch goals you've scored have funnily been for the the derby is speak of, like the two teams that despise each other, because you've played for both, which surprisingly not surprisingly, a lot of players have in the A-League, because the A-League's quite small. But let's go through your goal against what was against Sydney FC for Melbourne Victory. Do you remember that? Like the moment of the game, how you on your last leg, somehow you beat 3 players, the emotion behind it. Like that was one of the most important goals of your career, for sure, in regards to the game and where it was. But take me through that.
No, definitely. That was, it's a roller coaster of emotions, to be honest. That game, the whole thing was like obviously scoring their own goal in the semi-final. Sydney FC at that time or that season were unbeatable. Like they were unbeatable.
They're like Brisbane under Ange.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Arnie had them
top,
unbelievable, playing well, and obviously we dominated that game. And I scored the own goal, and I've never scored an own goal in my life. Man.
Worst feeling ever.
It was the worst feeling. And I remember like I had the Sydney FC fans smashing me, like singing my name, smashing me, like I can't even remember, maybe 20,000. Just everyone was just hammering me.
Yeah.
And going to extra time, and I remember the boys trying to pick me up, and for the first 10 minutes I was like, and Muskie was like trying to help me out of it, and I was just gone because like just emotionally I was just like
head loss.
Head loss, man.
It happens, bro.
Like it's not that we're going to extra time. All the boys, like I was thinking of the boys, like mate, they're probably
you've let them down.
Let them down. We worked so hard for this, and semi-finals, like you work your whole year for that whole preseason of 2 weeks or preseason. You're dying just to get to the semis. So going through that, then obviously once I got the ball, and I had to do something that game, like to make it like what I'd done wrong, like try to even it up. And obviously scoring, like, it was just emotional. Like for me, it was a very special moment because we got to the grand final, but the whole build up to it, like obviously I was at Sydney FC for 5 years. When I was there, went to Victory, I got hammered by the fans by it. And then playing the game, screwing their own goal, copying it, and I was like, mate, I'm never going to hear the end of this. But then being able to score the winner, it was just like...
Bro, can you take me through what happened there? Because like, it was a bit jammy. Your balls bouncing everywhere, bro.
What do you mean, bro?
It was a bit jammy, bro.
What do you mean, bro? It was like FIFA jammy.
Bro, it was unbelievable how it happened, the goal. Like, from where you were, how you got out of some of those situations, and then like the finish, and then literally jump over the fence in the Victory fans. You can see like tears kind of coming off your face.
Yeah, like I remember getting the ball at halfway, and I remember turning around, looking up, and there was no one there, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I remember just turning and just running, and hit a few players at the time, and just kept running and just kept opening up, and took the shot, and that was it. And then obviously jumping over, it was just all the adrenaline rush and emotional. As I said, I was copying it in the extra time, when we have that break and you're getting treatment or massage or drinks. I remember the whole stadium just caning me, and I'm like,
yeah, bro.
It was the worst feeling ever, man.
It was a special time, man.
Yeah, worst feeling ever. So, to be able to score that, it was just emotional. And then the week after that, to win the grand final, like, that was a special moment. So there's always be a special moment to me. Bro,
you actually might be up for Pushkas Goal of the Year, bro. You imagine that. You imagine of all the things you win, you get a Pushkas Goal of the Year. Because if you guys haven't seen it, it's viral across the globe. Terry Antonis' goal, I think it was to go 6-0 up, which was 5 or 6-0 at the time.
I can't remember.
Which was a massive win in a way, in regards to the A-League. You don't see that happen too often, but I can't even say I'm overly surprised. Like, as crazy as it is, I've seen you chip people from both feet. Remember when you went through that phase where you started getting in trouble? You started getting in trouble for not shooting because you were just chipping them.
Remember Jan's
like, Daddy, shoot! But you would just get like, you would kind of look for a pass and you see the keeper so you always have had an eye for where the keeper was.
Yeah.
In regards to that. Boy, take me through the goal itself, bro, because that was special.
Yeah, look, it was special, obviously, to do that. You try that training, like, that stuff, but it doesn't really like come off. But when it came in the bounce, I felt pressure coming from behind and flicked over the guy's head. And I looked up quickly and
which was an outrageous thing to do in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
That's not, kids at home, that's not usually where you get taught.
No, that's what I said, a lot of the hours at the park, man. I had a year to practice. So
it wasn't risk because you knew, right?
Yeah. So as I said, like I looked up, saw him a bit off his line. I'm like, thinking to myself, like, should I do it or not? And you know, in football, you don't have a lot of time to think. And I hit it. I don't think if you ask me to do it again, I'll be confident and just try to say I'll do it again. But for
you hit it, it was like a rocket off your boot, man.
Yeah.
When it left, it was a shot. It wasn't a chip.
It wasn't a chip.
shot.
It was a shot. But yeah, like my brother like was hammering me after. Like everyone was like saying like
A fluke.
no one can like. It didn't even bounce. That's the crazy thing. Like
It hit the net on the full.
Net on the full. Like I couldn't even do that. I don't
That's
even.
the hard part to do. You could score it, but to hit the net on the full,
Yeah, like that's the hard part.
like it's got to go under the bar.
under the bar. So yeah, when it came off and everything, it was just emotions.
And it was over our good friend Lawrence too.
Yeah, no, I apologize
Yeah.
after.
Oh, sorry,
to
Loz,
him,
man.
sorry,
That
Loz,
happens.
But,
Yeah, the emotion behind that goal too, because you didn't have the easiest time at Western Sydney, so there's a lot of like emotion for you in that game, in that goal. Which
yeah, look, yeah, there was a lot of emotions and stuff. So obviously, once I scored and a lot of it came out. But yeah, I just had to do something special. You know, that's as I said, like you know me and that, so I had to do something.
you never give up.
So
Yeah, you always have a point. That's the worst thing with you is when you don't give you a point to prove,
yeah, well,
because that's when you'll play good. You know.
of course. So yeah, me being me, I put my head down, work, and that's it.
Best goal you've ever scored? Is it?
Yeah, best goal for sure.
Yeah.
Ever scored.
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
think,
if you've scored better than that, I'd like to see it, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, best goal, but yeah, emotionally and stuff. But yeah, the victory stuff goal, like I think that
Had more
emotionally,
meaning.
they both did, but emotionally, yeah, just how the course and the fans smashing me and that was just a bit different. But as I said, yeah, very different. But when we'll talk about the goal about hitting on the net, I don't know if you remember at AAS, Dutchie used to put the ball in the line. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
Outside the 18-yard box.
yeah. We used to play that game.
And you used to hit on the full.
Yeah.
To try to hit it
Yeah.
as many times.
I remember his story was around Gabriel Batistuta or someone. We used to hit. It was like 10 balls, and you see
you
how many
hit
you could hit on the net on the full.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, we used to do that after every training session.
Every after trains.
That's why I used to love Dutchie, man. Shout out Gary Van Egmont. As much as he used to fucking, he was your best mate one day. Next day he'd be like, he'd be telling you the worst player ever. But he was a great coach, bro.
Yeah, unbelievable.
His
coach.
drills and stuff from a technical point of view and the way he thought about technique was, like, we enjoyed that, I think.
Yeah, no, he was unbelievable and a great guy, great coach. And like you look at his daughter, like she's one of the best midfielders. Technically, that's
prime example of why.
So that's prime Dutchies.
Prime Dutchie,
yeah, he was a top coach. But yeah, I remember that once we started talking about that, I bring that up. I thought of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Crazy.
Hey, last one. Have we forgot anything else? Is there anything? I feel like we've covered a lot.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, we had a lot of rivalry as kids, and now it's funny how like we've grown up.
Yeah, I know.
Like rivalry because of New South Wales, Victoria, not personal rivalry. Like it's just how states hated each other.
I just like the quality of also football back then. When you think about it,
Yeah,
even as youngsters when we were playing, like it was actually good. Like
yeah, it was tough, man. They were really tough games.
yeah, but it was all technical, gifted plays. Like I remember playing you guys. You had Macca, you had, for example, when Canberra, you had Roderick down there.
Yeah.
When you played Queensland, I can't
They had
remember.
like Josh Belante. Who else was in Queensland at the time? Queensland always did all right though.
Yeah.
I don't remember too many players other than Josh. Who was there? I mean, Corey Brown came out of Queensland and stuff, but none from our age group. It was more WA was good. They had Ryan Edwards, Tags.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
South Australia had some good players at the time too.
Yeah, it was like really
It's a good age group,
it
bro.
was a good age group, very technical age group. So no, it was good times, man. Good FIFA tournaments, ping pong tournaments.
Yeah,
So,
bro. Hey, last one from me because we do this on every podcast. I reckon it be an interesting one for you. So we ask a question every time to every guest because the answer is different. But we attest 3 traits to success in business or sport. So across your career, like all 3 you've needed, but which one's been the most important? Resilience, drive, or ambition? Which one's been like the one that you've had to rely on or focus on the most to get to where you are?
tough question, man, because I think you need all 3.
Yeah.
It's not just one. Like you need the drive, you need the resilience, you need everything, man. Like in football, everything gets thrown at you. Like one day everyone loves you, the next day, as you know, people hate you. So you just don't know. But you need the drive to every day to wake up and be able to perform, go to training. Like some days, as you know, as a footballer, some days you might say like stuff training. I don't want to go. I'd rather stay home. But you need the drive and hunger to go every day to make yourself better. Yeah, especially when you're down and stuff. Like, as you know, emotionally at times a lot of things happen off the field as well. So you need to pick yourself up and go forward.
That's a new answer for us, bro. Terry Antonis, bro. Love you, man.
Appreciate it.
Glad to see you back enjoying football, and thank you for coming on the show.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and it's good to see you being you.
Yeah, brother. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.